Nice cool Georgia morning. Doesn't exist. Good morning, all. It is the last week in June. I'm about to go out here and do a harvest. There's still dew on the grass. It said it was about 70. I don't believe it. It feels it feels like 80 something degrees, but I don't have any trees out here. So I decided to wake up, do an early harvest, show you guys what I've got going on, and then I get to retreat to the cool inside, at least until this afternoon. I've got to mow back here. I mowed the front yesterday, but the back grows faster. All this rain, and it's just impossible to keep it all done. So let me get my gloves on real quick. So remember when I was talking to you previously about my squash and how it wasn't doing anything. One reason I'm hot out here too is I have long sleeves on because, well, you know, dealing with squash. And I am the first person. I actually get it from my grandmother. My grandmother had a beautiful garden, her and my grandfather. That woman was allergic to everything, and I get it honest. So it only take me a second to wonder where that weird rash I have comes from. Hold on, sorry guys, I gotta get my camera locked in here. So check this out. Look at all those down there. Oh, hold on, there we go. Can you see? Oh, the bee is upset with me. Sorry guys, had to let him out. There's a bunch over here. But I've got all these beautiful squash down in here. And they haven't gone yellow yet, but it does look like their flower's gonna fall off. And then, come over here. I've got all these under here, ready to harvest. On this side too. That makes me happy to see all your hard work pay off. So I'm getting ready to jump into this squash bed and get some squash. Alright, I wanted to harvest these two before they got too big, and they said the same thing with squash kind of applies to cucumber. You don't want them to linger on the vine, or it could send messages to the vine that, you know, it needs to just start putting out fruit for seed. So I left this little bit of flower on the end. These are already getting to a good size anyway. These aren't as yellow as the previous ones, but you know what? They'll be tender and delicious. That squash seems to be an anomaly. It's different from the other ones and is growing more, but I'm thankful. And time to harvest one of my tomatoes. Finally, I'm so happy. I'll get a tomato this season. This is Green Giant. And the Green Giants turn a little pink when they're ripe, and or they could be stripy. So these are still a little bit too stripy. I've kind of been going by the squeeze test. You know, that's how you knew as a kid when you went out in grandma's garden to figure out which tomato was right. Besides the fact that it would be bright red, Green Giants are a little bit different. But when you squeeze this one, it's got this sort of feel to it. You just know that feeling. So, see how easy that came off? This was my first tomato that ripened and started getting big on the vine. It's a good tomato. I can't wait to slice that open. I'll show you guys what it looks like on the inside. I think that's it. This one's going to be ready probably in about a day or so. And I've got a couple, let's go, of Principe. There's one. I wish they'd all ripen in bunches so I can just pull them and dry them. But now they're kind of trickling. Maybe as the weather gets warmer, we'll see about what happens with those. Let me check on these beets, guys. Let's see here. This one is all outside of the dirt. And you know what? I'm wondering, I think I'm gonna just pull it. Can you guys see that? There we go. Nice yellow beet there. And I think there's another one back here. Yep. This one's sticking out of the dirt. This one's split, I think. Still edible. There. Alright, put that down on in here. And right now, the rest of them are still just in there growing away. So I got 2 yellow beets. I'm not dealing with lettuce today. You guys have seen me harvest enough lettuce, and this lettuce and kale, they're like the star of every show, like every day of my life. Definitely think I'm gonna have some green beans. Right now, green beans are an everyday harvest. As you can see, they're still putting out flowers. This is the Early Contender seed by Gurney, and I've had these before. When I gardened, I went straight to them when I had a chance to garden again because they are prolific and a little bit slow to start. But once they get going, you are going to be picking green beans, like I said, every single day. All right, guys, my long wait is over. Finally, I'm about to harvest one of my cabbages, my Tierra hybrid. Ooh, that stem is tough. There we go. Take a look at that. These are a tiny cabbage breed. Is breed the right word? But they are smaller for small spaces, which I love. And they're almost personal cabbage size. I really think like maybe 2 or 3 servings are in here. But they're perfect for eating fresh. This is my first year growing them. I've never grown cabbage before. Every time I used to try to grow Brussels sprouts, but cabbage worm would just take me out, and I wasn't as experienced. Not that I'm that experienced now. I've been spraying, as you can see, and I keep everything covered with nets, but this poor thing, I saw that some cabbage worm has gotten to it, but I've been using Thurgicide, which is BT, and the rest of mine have a chance. I'm so happy that this cabbage here was my very first cabbage that I put in the ground, and it's just perfect. Almost, it's pretty much untouched by cabbage worm. So I am super happy about that. I mean, look at that. Just such a cute thing, just kind of fits in your hand. The rest of these are growing. They've got more space now, and I'm gonna come out here and spray them. I think it's about time for me to pull my peas. And I only say that is because I was so busy and I didn't get out here to harvest as much as I should. And a lot of those pods were on there longer than they should have been on there. And now they're yellowing. That could also be from type of fungus that's in the soil. The tops are still green, but they're looking kind of rough. And I do have another crop of them planted over in the cucumber bed. So I may be deciding to go ahead and pull these just because they look pretty unsightly too, but I don't know. I'm going to feel it out, but still working on getting maybe another bed over here so I can have a little bit more space to work with. But I'm pretty happy with today's harvest. You know, those squash are heavy. They're pretty dense. Those are supposed to be just straight neck squash, but they're heavy, and I really could only eat like one or half by myself. So they're going to be going into the freezer, and if those squash plants continue to be as prolific as they are, I'm going to be giving some away. But whew, it's getting hot out here, and again, it's supposedly in the 70s. I think I'm done.